We're Coach Chris Rusiewicz, Northwest Guilford football. Coach, good to see you again. First of all, heard you talk to the team after practice, and you got these guys motivated. You got to get these guys moving, and finished a little early today for practice. You said you could have finished earlier, but these guys working hard. What about this day, though? As far as this day goes, I mean, if you can, would you want to be sitting home doing nothing or sitting? This is a beautiful day to be outside practicing football. This weather is great today.
These kids, they die for this opportunity all winter and spring and summer. And then you get them out here, and after 3 days, you can just see it starting to wear on them a little bit. It's okay. It's all part of the preseason experience. It happens everywhere, and every program's going there. I just saw Arizona State talking about the other day. We're an average team being average, you know, and that's what we are right now. We're an average team being average. But that's okay. It's just a choice. At some point, we got to step up and say we want to be great, and that's just a choice. That's an effort thing. We got to get it figured out. We will.
And you're getting leaders picked out now too. It's starting to find who those leaders are, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just trying to develop. I mean, you got a lot of seniors. We got 24 seniors. You're hoping that they all step up and do it. We're starting to see it happen. In my first 2 years here, I think we did have a little bit of that. We had a lot of followers, and we had guys that would lead by example, but we didn't have enough guys that were, you know, basically be an extension of the coaching staff. It was always coaches, coaches, coaches. I think at this point we're starting to get guys that are being a little bit more vocal, and that's what we need to be. Players need to lead players before coaches do, and that's when you find championship teams.
And the players that don't want to be in an environment like this, don't want to put the work in, they probably should be home anyway, because you got to want to be out here. When you're out here, you're working, and this has got to go towards something. It's toward winning that first ball game. That's the direction you guys are heading, I'm sure.
They all want to be out here. They just like to complain, as I was just telling them after the thing. There's a difference between whining and complaining. Whining is making negative comments about something you can't control. Complaining is when you can say something negative, but something you might be able to control. And we need to teach our guys how to grow up and do those types of things and control what they can control. And when they do that, we'll see a different thing. But you're absolutely right. I mean, my first year here, we had 125 kids out here in summer. Right now, we're sitting at about 102. So you can see the right kids are starting to come out and play, and they do love it. It's just hard when you do it all summer long and there's no sight of end at the end. And we got our first scrimmage next Friday, a week from today. And I think when they see that, when they get to that, that's when the energy starts to come.
It's good to have a timetable now. You got the scrimmages and you got the first game, so there's something to point to. And you want them to be right on Friday night. That's the main thing. You got to be right by then. You got to get all this junk cleared out now, get it over with, get it out of the way, and be near perfect for that first game.
We've learned the last 2 years. First year against Burlington Williams, we were beating them at halftime and lost the second half. We weren't in shape. We were missing tackles. We weren't ready for Friday night. Last year, we came out. We were down by 9 at half and came back to beat them. So it was flipped. But I think our kids need to realize that we can't do that at any time. And, you know, I know we're not playing Williams. We're playing Western Alamance this year, and they're obviously very well coached. But we can't come out flat. We got to come out strong. And we learned a lot now. We'll see how we do. I mean, but the first thing's going to be Oak Grove when we get a chance to scrimmage and see how we play with them.
I heard you lose some players from last year's team. Everybody does, but the guys you got coming back. I heard you maybe around 24 seniors. Quite a few seniors on this team.
Oh God, we got. My first year here, we had 26 seniors, and about 14 or 15 of them didn't play a whole lot. This year we have 24. 23 of them are major contributors, and that speaks volumes for the development and growth of these guys and the ones that stuck it out. You know, obviously, you talk about the offensive line. Ryan Hotel and Drew Banahan are both three-year starters on the O-line that are seniors. Anders Mitchell coming back and competing for the quarterback job as a returning starter senior. You got his twin brother who's working both ways, Austin Mitchell, at free safety and receiver, again, seniors. Defensively, we got a lot of defensive players. Our front four are Rob Lang and Ben Biggs and Marcus Gilliard and Matt Mungus and Deegan Sowers. I mean, we have a starting four, and we got 5 seniors that are going to be in a rotation. So that's very solid and strong. Linebacker Freddie Shaw is a returning 3-year starter for us. Obviously, Austin Jackson, a 4-year starter for us. So, I mean, there are a lot of names with a lot of experience, and now it's just a matter of getting them to step up and become solid leaders as an extension of the coaching staff.
You like to have experience on both sides of the ball, but especially on defense. You got those defensive experienced players. You mentioned Freddie Shaw, you mentioned Austin Jackson, and also mentioned up front Rob Lang. All those names, they stand out. We remember those names. Those guys have been here.
They have been, and you know what's crazy is we also had to replace back-to-back years 4 or 5 senior defensive linemen. I mean, Colin Stokes was here last year. You had Josh Burkett, you had Bryce Spell. So, you know, the good news is the development of the big guys up front is something our D-line coach, Coach Moore and Coach Maynard, are doing a great job, and even Coach Brooks on the offensive line, where we're able to replace those guys year in and year out. First year here, we had 5 out of 8 guys playing seniors. Last year, 5 out of 8 guys that were seniors. And this year, with even those 5 guys coming back, we lost 4 major contributors last year. So the development process, and we know it all wins. Every good coach knows the games win on front, offensive, defensive line. So we make sure that we're really focused on that.
I was hanging out with Coach Aldine Payne a little bit during your practice, and I kept hearing him mention that name, Freddie. So we know Freddie Shaw is an important factor because Coach Payne made sure Freddie was on top of what he was supposed to be doing today.
Freddie loves the game. Freddie loves playing football. I don't think he loves practice. Not many people do, but he knows how to have fun, which is why you hear that name quite often from Coach Payne, trying to get him reeling back in. But he knows how to turn it on and off when the time comes. So he's a very good football player for us.
Mention your quarterbacks, Pharrell Price and Anders Mitchell, 2 experienced quarterbacks, and they'll fight for that job. And sometimes that is good having a competition, makes for a better player, better team.
You know, my time at Guilford, we had Matt Pulaski and Mitch Farrick, who were best friends. And they were 1 and 2 for 4 consecutive years. And Coach Farrick now, he's a coach at Roanoke. All he ever did was try to compete for that job every season, every week, and push him, which is what probably made Matt who he was. And I feel like we're at that point right here at Northwest where we're always going to try to have 2 quarterbacks pushing each and every day through preseason, through the summer, and of course day to day. That job never needs to be secure. When that happens, especially at a young kid, you get complacent, and we don't want to make sure that doesn't happen.
So you always have a strong running back. Who looks like they're going to be the top running back this year, or maybe some running backs in the backfield you're going to carry the ball? Because you like to run the ball a lot because you're kind of a fundamental sound coach of football from Division III over the years, and you got to be able to run the ball to actually have success throwing the ball.
100%. We've been very fortunate to have a real good running game and good backs. And last year, you know, McKinley Vance got hurt. He only played a couple games. This year, we expect between him and Easton Dean to be a really good, solid 2-headed monster. Easton Dean, by the end of the year, we felt like was in a position where he could have been a starter, and he actually got most of the carries in our last playoff game. He's come into a whole different. I mean, obviously, I know you followed him in middle school, and he was great back then, and his development has been unbelievable. Now as a junior, he's playing. We're looking at him both ways, but between him and McKinley, there will be a great 1-2 punch. DJ Landis, who was a freshman last year, who played receiver and DB, we moved him to running back as well. I think he played at Kernodle as a running back, and he's having a great summer, great preseason so far. He'll be our starter more than likely on Thursday nights, but more than likely 8-quartered, and eventually may be getting into that rotation with those 3.
And you think about it, last year was what's so good about the running back position. Last year had 3 different backs carrying the ball most of the time, and they all give you 3 different looks. Maybe a lean back, fast back, power back. I mean, the 3 different looks almost.
You know, and that's what you want. I know as a defensive-minded guy, you know, on my side, the more weapons you throw at people, the more you got to adjust your game plan. When you know who's in, you got to adjust here or there and get your kids to understand what's going on. You know, I think they're all very similar. McKinley brings more of a slippery snake type approach. He knows how to read keys, make moves, and get through small little crevices. Easton's more of a power downhill runner, but he's got a breakaway speed that's impressive. We saw it at the Mooresville game last year where he broke one. I think it was 60 yards up the middle, and they couldn't catch him, so that was very impressive to see. And then, of course, DJ, you know, I think when he's out there and we have the film on, sometimes when I see DJ run, it reminds me a lot like Easton. So we're really excited about all 3 of those. And then Jonas Ferrero was this guy last year on Thursday nights that did a great job, and he's playing a little bit of linebacker right now. He's more of that power downhill running back that we are looking for, and he'll find his opportunity back there as well.
And wide receiver, you can't step away at all without thinking about Rakeem Hammock at that wide receiver spot. Saw him in that Northern Guilford game a couple years ago, had that breakout game, and it's been the same since. I mean, he keeps making big plays for you. Look for him, 90 yards a game or more, probably at wide receiver. And as Coach Payne also said, we got to get that guy the ball back 50 times a game. I said, well, 35 be good. This guy, he's a playmaker for you.
So he doubled his stats from freshman year to sophomore year. We're hoping he can double his stats from freshman or from sophomore to junior. He's in a position where he can do that. We also got him working some corner. We feel like when we get ready to go into this conference play, they got some pretty good tall wideouts who can run. We're going to need him at times to step into those roles and try to help, you know, control that environment. So he's going to be more of a 2-way player for us this year. But again, when his ball's in his hand, he's a chance he's going to score touchdowns. So we're going to try to find ways to keep doing that.
We had a kid on the middle school team a couple years ago, this kid, Nick Varga. I said, this Nick Varga is going to be a player for somebody someday. And I'm thinking it's probably about time for him to start showing his stuff up here too now.
Nick's been he's a great story. I mean, freshman year, he got hurt, played running back for us, got hurt, didn't finish the year out. I think he came back maybe the last game on Thursdays. He played a little bit, but he had a broken collarbone or a rotator cuff, whatever it was. And his off-season's been impressive. He's put on about 15 pounds, grew about 2 inches. Right now, he's competing for the free safety job to replace Herb McNeil. With Austin Mitchell, both those two are competing for the free job, and whoever wins the free job, the other one's going to go start for us at wide receiver. So compliments to Nick Vargo on where he's at, because I think he's definitely one of our better receivers, and he's also one of our better defensive backs. And we're just trying to figure out which one's going to win the free job, and the other one's going to go start for us probably on offense.
Well, all those interceptions Herb McNeil had last year, I think it matched that number. It'd be pretty good back there at defensive back, I'm sure.
We just got to get him to understand what Herb did and study him a little bit. Herb, junior year, didn't really understand it as much as he did his senior year, and he definitely did exactly what he was supposed to do. He's got great speed, great ball instincts, and we're trying to get Nick there as a sophomore. And if we do, he'll be a great player for us for 3 years.
Hadn't seen anybody maybe work on it as much or any more than you were working on in practice. Working on that kicking game, that punting game, even punt coverage and things like that. The special teams, important for you, I'm sure.
It's always been. When I was an assistant coach back in college, I asked the head coach if I could take on that role, even as a coordinator, because I knew the value of what it does for a defensive coach. When I took over as a head coach, in the college level, I took that on as a major responsibility and was always involved. High school, same thing. I think when we're looking to go into the schedule that we're going into, where most games should be hopefully a one-score game, win or lose, special teams can be the determining factor in those games. And it's always been important to me, and I think at this point, it's never going to be. I always enjoyed coaching it. I think it brings energy to a stadium. People don't focus on it, but that's where big plays happen, big hits, turnovers, change of field position, things like that can change the momentum of a game. So we definitely put a major emphasis on that. We just got to find the right kids that make it just as important as we do.
And I'm sure you probably got maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 kickers, because you usually specialize your kickers a little bit too.
We got, we had 3 kickers my first year, which was great. We had 2 last year. One of them becoming all-region, or maybe even all-state, I think Nolan was. And then this year we got 2 rising sophomore soccer players that both have been working with me throughout spring and summer. We have Carter Sheridan, who's been a freshman last year, baseball starter at second base, who's a varsity athlete that's finally starting to develop as a football player. We're excited about his kicking ability as well as wide receiver. So we'll have probably 3 or 4 guys that can kick the football for us.
Well, all is good at Northwest Guilford. You said the number is about 105 players out this
102,
year?
102, yeah.
102, not bad at all, and I'm sure those numbers stay the same. It's all about staying healthy. Talk to your trainer over on the sideline. She does a great job for you too. So it looks like this whole, you can talk to Coach Maynard, who's been here forever. You and Coach Maynard have been together since back when maybe Lincoln was still making some decisions in Washington. You guys have been a long time. So it's good to have all these people together making this Northwest Guilford, and Coach Payne, don't forget him, make this thing work.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a great staff. 12 guys, including me. We're working hard. A lot of these guys played for me and or coached for me for several years, so they know what we're trying to do. It makes the transition very smooth.
Coach, let's let you transition to the meetings. Appreciate your time. Keep up the good work, and I hope all goes well.
Yeah, thank you. As always.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.